Hi there. Thank you for checking out powerfulsinging.com. This is an online lesson to help you warm up and at the same time eliminate any strain from the voice. Too often people push from your throat and that starts to feel natural. So even though you might think that you're very relaxed, you're not. And then when you start to sing properly, ironically enough, you might feel like you're pushing, you might feel like you're straining, but you're actually not. How can you tell? You can tell by how the voice feels in your body. If your voice feels elevated, if it feels like it's coming from up high, then chances are you've got great freedom to your voice, you've got great tone. If it feels like it's stuck back here, then you're going to struggle. You're not going to get your high notes and your tone is going to probably go flat. So let's start by doing one of the most famous warm-ups, but don't just do it and go through the motions. Do it very conscientiously. What you're going to do is imagine the sound coming from first the back of your head, going out almost like a baseball arch, and then really focus your voice into a point on the wall. That focus is going to help stop the voice from getting stuck in your throat. So we're going to do the vocal trill. We're not going to go very high. This is geared toward both beginners and advanced. If you're advanced, you can go higher on your own time. We're just going to do the vocal trill, but try and keep everything way up here. Don't let it sink into your throat. Okay, good. Now do the same thing, but do it with even more focus, more ping to it. You see how that already sounded stronger? But I didn't try any harder. I didn't push any harder. I just focused it. If the voice isn't focused, then your larynx moves all around, and that's one of the reasons you get vocal strain. So again, very free, as if it's vibrating through your whole skull. Now here's a secret for you. Do you think that it takes more air to sing? Do you think you have to blow a lot of air through the vocal cords to get a good sound? Or do you think that it takes just a tiny little bit, just a little sip of air? If you think that you have to blast the vocal cords, you're actually wrong. It's a common teaching to really blow through the cords, but it's wrong. If you relax and just think tiny, tiny amounts of air, you'll actually get more sound because there's no weight to the voice. The less heavy the voice is, the more it's going to expand through the chest voice, through the middle voice, and into the head voice. So think, relax, but just take a tiny sip of air. It's just as easy with a little bit of air as it is with a lot. And expand it. Now 3 times in a row, and more focus the whole time. And another trick is to think of the notes as all being the same. They're all the same note up high. If you think of every note as being different, you tend to add a lot of strain to the voice by going. The smoother you make that line, you think of it as being all one note, then the less strain you have. So now let's get into a vocal warm-up, and this is to help relax. It's helped to focus the voice, to get the elevation that your voice needs. And it's also a really great ear training exercise. We're going to focus on solfege syllables, do, re, mi, fa. And I want you to really listen here. And let's do this in a comfortable key. I'm going to start in the key of D. So here's your do. Do, re, mi, re, do. Easy enough, but pay attention to what happens when you go to fa. Do, re, mi, fa, mi. You hear how that note really wants to fall back down to the mi. That's the 4th falling to the 3rd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 3. And that's very significant in music. It's a suspended chord, but it's also a very common pattern. When you hear, if you just stop at me, do, re, mi, I can just hold that note, I can use that note, I can go anywhere. But when you go to the fa, do, re, mi, fa, mi, you feel how that irresistibly just wants to go back down to the mi. Do it just with vocalization. Na 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 na. You feel that? And then go back down. And now here's something else that's interesting. We're going to go back down to the do and then to ti. Na 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 na. Mi re do ti do. Now the ti is the opposite. You feel how the ti pulls irresistibly to the do. The ti wants to rise. So these exercises will really help you learn your intervals faster. You're not just memorizing how far apart they are, but there's a definite pull to them. Do, re, mi, fa wants to fall. Do it again. Do, re, mi, fa wants to fall. Mi, re, do, ti wants to rise. Ti wants to rise. Oh, my fingers are a little clumsy. I'm playing the wrong notes there. Let's try it again. Do, re, mi, fa wants to fall. Mi, re, do, ti wants to rise. So all of the other notes are very stable. So when you go to start doing intervals, you can do, mi. That's very stable. So that's your third. But when you go to the fa, do, fa, mi, you can feel that it wants to pull down. If you're just going by here, trying to hear the distance, there's not necessarily enough distance between them. The fa and the mi are very close together in the scale, but it's a very different feel. Do, re, mi, fa wants to fall. Mi, re, do, ti wants to rise. Now, how do you know if the ear training is starting to work for you? If you find that you have to go over them and it's tedious and it's boring, chances are it's not working for you. If you go away and you go to work or go to school and you can't get this da 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 da, it's working. It's stuck in your head, much like a favorite song or an annoying song is stuck in your head. You can't get it out. Then you know your ear training is working, so you're doing something right. So keep it up. Once you get very used to this exercise, then loosen it a little bit. Have fun with it. Make it into an actual tune. Na da ba da 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 dee, dee 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 a day. Shoot it a dway a da, hi a dee dee doo. So have fun with this. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you want more singing tips, then go to www.powerfulsinging.com and sign up for the free newsletter, because there's a very important report that's going to show you how to use the creative side of your brain to sing rather than just always the intellectual side all the time. And you'll get a lot out of that. So once again, the website is www.powerfulsinging.com. Have fun.